But we got another guest with us.
We do.
Let's bring him in right now. There he is. Michael Mueller's with us. Mr. Judge Executive Michael Mueller. How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good.
We were glad. We were talking about the weather just now. We're glad that we had a pretty decent weather week. There was a couple of showers that came through last week, but a good week for the Franklin County Fair. It just wrapped up on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
I haven't seen the final numbers, but I can only imagine they've probably had some record numbers. I think there was only one night that they had to cancel a little bit early because of some lightning, but it wasn't too much. And I know there's a lot of activity, and it was fun had by all.
Yeah.
There's some pictures up there right now.
Yeah, and you all had the opening ceremony. It actually started it was a bit of a different schedule than we're used to fair-wise, because we were there last Saturday to shoot a couple of the pageants. But it was a good call to do that because those winners got to participate in events throughout the week. And I know Tuesday you all had the opening ceremony.
Yeah, the official ceremony was Tuesday, I think 6 o'clock. But yes, you're right. The weekend before they did a lot of the pageants and things like that, a lot of the flower competitions and things like that. So yeah, they had a lot of turnout and the pageant pictures right there. So I've heard nothing but compliments. So I just want to personally commend the fair board. They're the ones that are really boots on the ground. Well, that's not the fair board. That's fiscal court. But I was proud of them. We definitely support the fair every year, and we're a great partner with them. And obviously, it's at Lakeview Park, which is county park. But the fair board itself, they literally work year round to put that fair on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And Patty Cross works really hard on those pageants every year.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's a lot of people involved in that.
Yeah, and it's honestly a cool opportunity, I think, because you mentioned Lakeview Park. A reminder for folks that they can come to Lakeview Park, and that it's a beautiful place to come to. And
absolutely, and I think last time I was on here, we were talking about the project that we're working on. So we're hopefully getting closer to some numbers back from the contractor.
Oh, okay.
So that's exciting. So we'll know. By the next report, by my next time on the show, we'll have a little bit better direction, I think, where we're headed. But it's exciting. It is a beautiful park. 128 acres right there, and it's very easy to get to, and a lot of parking and things like that. So it's a nice place. They do a good job out there.
And I couldn't imagine the Franklin County Fair being anywhere else really than Lakeview Park.
It takes up a lot of land, believe it or not. When you really drive in there and you start looking at, by the time all the trucks and trailers that come to help set it up, it's a lot that goes into that.
Oh, yeah. Well, tell us about Glens Creek Road.
So Glens Creek Road is actually a project we've been working on. James Kay, the judge executive in Woodford County, and myself contacted the state. A couple of years ago, there was some bad flooding on the river, and there was kind of a landslide, and they deemed that road not passable, so they closed it, which has put in a lot of pressure on Duncan Road. Obviously, I think people know Castle and Key Distillery. You got the stave down in Millville, I'm sorry. So the state awarded the contract. They started last Monday, and it should be complete by this fall, which is going to help a lot of things out. So basically, if you're coming down from Frankfort to head towards, say, Millville, once you go under the interstate almost, that's where the landfall was right there. So the road was given out. So we're excited for the state to help us with that project, and it's going to be improved.
That's a big deal, especially with I'm sure all those concrete trucks and which directions they're going, and
it's actually right after the concrete plant, so that's not as much. But what it's done is it's put a lot more pressure on the intersection of Duncan Road and Versailles Road, which we all know is a hot spot. And actually, that's one of the things. And I want to thank Ben Judah for coming on today and explaining some things. But it's one of the things that our planning and zoning has been working on, is trying to be proactive and talking to the state about working on some areas like Duncan Road, just because we know there's a lot more development happening out that way.
Yeah, a lot more traffic.
Absolutely.
Traffic. People, well, what else we got going on? International Day? That's
so one thing that we've been talking about for the last kind of 6 months since this new court came in was doing something a little different. And one thing I think Frankfurt's never done is the International Day. And I think it's a way to kind of showcase all the different diversity of people that live in our community. So we're excited. Mitzi Jevedin, who works in our office, is kind of putting a team together. They've been meeting a little bit. They're getting serious, I think, this week. They have a date picked out. I think it's September 23rd. Don't hold me to it. We're working with the Interfaith Council and things like that. So we're really trying to, it's going to be at Lakeview Park, but we're going to really try to showcase all the nationalities that live in Frankfort or the surrounding counties. If anybody wants to participate, just let us know. But we're going to try to get food vendors from different places, of the world, and any kind of talent, if they want to sell things, just kind of a day to celebrate who we all are as Frankfort.
Yeah, and we've got several. I've always noticed since I moved here, you've got a strong Indian community and several nationalities.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you start looking at the factories and stuff, they're from Germany and Japan and different things like that.
Right,
and they are part of our community. So we just thought it'd be a great opportunity to put something together and showcase everybody that lives here.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, so we're excited about
and maybe
it.
when we get a little closer, you said September, kind of late September.
Yeah, it'll be late September. And then we have something else cooking October. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the next time I come here, we'll have a little bit more. I'll bring somebody who's more knowledgeable about the actual event than me. I'm fine doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned October. I guess you all usually do the sort of outdoor movie night.
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
So this year we're looking to do a little bit bigger and better. We're looking to do food trucks, bouncy houses for the day.
Nice.
So we have a couple of people working on that early on. So I don't want to say too much about it.
Some months away.
Still in the planning zone, but yeah, it'll be a great event for everybody.
Real quick, you mentioned this new court, and we're 6 months kind of into this. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about you're 6 months into being judge executive. What are your kind of halfway through the first year thoughts? Yeah,
it's a lot, but I love it. I truly love it. It's one of those things. There's a lot of things that come with the position that you don't think about. Marrying people and things like that. But the job itself, it's a team effort. So it's not like one person's doing anything. It's a fiscal court that kind of all moves together. But we have a strong court, and I think everybody's wanting to do the best they can for Franklin County. But I love the role. It's different than my livelihood. But for me, business is business. So, I tell people all the time, I'm not here to micromanage. I just want to make sure you have the tools to do your job the best you can. So there's a lot of neat things going on, and I couldn't be happier right now.
That's the thing about these jobs on a local level. The only reason you're doing it is because you care about the community.
Absolutely.
So when you get that, people volunteering their time on the city council and on the fiscal court, it's because they care.
Yeah. Well, and folks on a planning commission as well, as Mr. Judah can attest to, and ARB, like these people care about the community too.
Yeah, there's a lot of committees that come with, and that's kind of an arm of the fiscal court. So it's people that are dedicated to our community, and that's what when I see people that are kind of butting heads on an issue, it's interesting because if you step back, this person here might think they're doing what's best for the community, and this person thinks. So one thing we're trying to do is pull everybody together a little bit more, so everyone understands that we're all trying to do what's best for our community. Maybe through a different lens. So,
and then you both might be making good points. Then if you can meet that, come up with the best solution.
Sometimes that's not as easy as that, but that's what we're trying to get as far as people just understanding that we are trying to do what's best for our community, and the 52,000 people that we're trying to make happy.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And then real quick, I'm interested in some insight from going from magistrate to judge executive. How has that kind of been for you, like as an adjustment?
I couldn't imagine coming into this role without having that behind me. So I think those 4 years as a magistrate really taught me about the process and things. Some things I liked, some things I didn't, but that's partially because I ran. So I did think I loved my time as a magistrate. And I never thought I'd be in this position, but I knew because of leadership and things like that I really wanted to do it. So, but they go hand in hand. But it's good. We have a great court. Everyone works together, and I think Scott, like you said, everyone's trying to do their best for what our community is going to be. And like Ben said earlier, a lot of these planning things. We have to do right. So in the years to come, we all know there's always some issues here and there in planning and zoning, things like that. So part of this process with the comp plan is to get those things worked out. So from this point forward, there's no gray areas. It's kind of black and white, you know. So hopefully we're trying to get things to run smoother.
And we've talked about this with guest after guest on the show, and that it feels like such a pivotal time in Franklin County as far as the potential to grow. And it just kind of feels like you're at a crux where you can go, you can really lean into it and maybe make some advances. But especially with you're looking at Elizabethtown's going to explode, and so this is our chance also to start to grow a little bit, because in the past we weren't, but I think everybody's doing a great job of moving down the road.
And I think people see the potential and the change of Frankfort, because we're starting to get investors, and we're starting to get people. I mean, look at downtown; it's starting to be revitalized.
Right. Yeah.
We have Norton Healthcare coming into town, which is going to be a great community partner. We have, I think, 3 hotels right now just on the east side that's going up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Which we needed.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time that you remember? I mean, guys, let's just be honest. We're getting a Dunkin' Donuts.
I know.
I mean, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, does it get any better than that?
We talk about it in my house like once a week. Yeah.
Do you just go out there and look at the dirt and say, this is where it's going to be?
Waiting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, things are progressing, So, there were so many years where we all felt like that it was kind of stagnant. But I think you're absolutely right, Scott. We are finally to the point that we have the leadership, we have the courts, we have the commission, and everybody's working together, and we're heading in the right direction.
Appreciate it, and appreciate you being here, Judge. And we can't let you go without talking about sharks. You gotta let us know if you got any favorite sharks.
I'm more of a comedian kind of guy, but I will have to go with Ben. And you can't go against Jaws. I mean, it's a classic.
And you haven't seen maybe you haven't seen Sharknado, the classic shark-related comedy of some years ago. I don't remember who did it, but
no, I'll have to look that. Have to look that one up. I'm not familiar.
We'll blend the shark and comedy.
Yeah, sharks flying through the air.
They made way.
I'm not sure if I can get a hold of that one, but I might give it a try.
Thanks, Judge. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for everything y'all do.
And we'll have you back on soon.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir.